Okay, June 11th, 2021. And I'm 28 hours into a dry fast. I just can't resist. I did 20, 24, 20, 24, only taking like 1 to 3 hour break. I did that for like 10 days. And then I went off of it for a day, kind of just some things in the evening, and then I couldn't resist it. And then today, 24 hours just flew by. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to keep going. Anyway, there's that ramble. So I'm 28 hours in. So, if I miss a word here or there, I'm sure you'll forgive me. All right. So where things are at now in life is trying to make my eyes match my hat. All right. It's about leveling up to the next timeline level. Why are you talking like that? Okay. You have to, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to, but you have to hold a certain frequency before you're there. Okay, so say like you climb up onto something and you have to steady it before you can move on. Or you have to build a foundation before you can build a house, right? So there's been a lot of changes, a lot of transitions, a lot that I've healed and went through for the last year. A whole other level of stuff that I didn't know I still had to work on. Voila, I do, and I did. So, Spirit has advised me to take June to hold my frequency. And so some things have come up that like try to tantalize me to go do this or go do that or go be part of this person's life or that person's life or this. Anyway, the point is it is important once you have discovered your beliefs, once you went through massive healing and massive change, to let yourself just be in the energy of that change, to solidify that frequency so that you can live that version of you and that version of life. If you can slip back down, it's not like a lower upper frequency, it's just a different timeline. You slip back into the other one if you're thinking about it, if you're focused on it, if you're mourning the past, if you're focused anywhere but in the present moment and on the goodness of the present moment. So the beauty of the mountains, right? The beauty of all the critters and the ships and the beauty of every animal and every cloud and, watching shows that you like and focusing on what you want. And so it's tempting now, like there's so much money, right? So they're doing no doc loans again, right? Which was a real estate frickin' heyday, right? Before the fall of Rome. The 2008 collapse or whatever the fuck. Anyway, no doc loans, but you still have to have credit, like a certain amount. And so that's where people were they're buying rental properties left and right. They're buying homes. They're getting equity out of their home. And it's a seller's market. So, I mean, right now, if I owned a home, I would totally sell it and rent until I'm waiting for everything to kind of burst. Why do you do that with your eyes? Because it's fun. Because, so many people got out of the stock market and into real estate, it changed the market. It almost falsified it for regular people, right? And I'm so good at real estate and I love it. So it's like, it's a temptation to go back to that. And I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on in the world, but there's a temptation to go, okay, well, wait, if the world's like it was, then I'd rather be playing around in big finance. Bullshitting people and having fun and knowing a bunch of stuff gets good money in real estate. But I was thinking earlier that, I don't want the kind of money that just I made in real estate. Okay. So yeah, there's probably not an easy, but a fun and a 100,000 a year. Okay. Well, what Spirit was showing me earlier is that would buy me that lifestyle. Okay. So it's not like big money to get my church and get my building, get my things that I've been planning for the last decade. It's regular life money, which is cool. Life, I welcome peace and I welcome that. But this is more peaceful, right? I have money for food. I have money for gas. I have a couple of storage units. Long story there. Anyway, the point is that I think I went off topic here. I was going into the holding the frequency, cleansing the lens of perception. We'll be back to that. But it is tempting now to pick a timeline. So I can do anything, right? I can be a legal assistant. I could be a lawyer. I could fucking, I could have been a doctor, whatever. I don't believe in any of that crap. It's not about being smart enough to do something in their fucking dumb system, right? But the Galactic Council of Light, Nassara, all these changes that are to come in, we're still waiting. And so it's tempting at times to get discouraged in that. But, I'm more solid than I've ever been. And the point is to perfect myself. What is that? Look, I could use the mirror to spotlight my face. Whoa. Whew. That was something. I'm pretending it was hot or something. Okay. So I'm not doing that. I'm creating. It's important to, and we had the eclipse yesterday, what you want. So write down, okay, what it is that I want, focused on the things that I want to create and not what I can do, okay? Oh yeah, I can do this, okay? I have a degree in this, I have experience in that, I can do this, well, what do I want to do? And not lose sight of my morals, my belief, my visions of who and what it is that I want to be, who I am. Yeah, money's fun and there's certain systems that are fun, but the real estate system cannot go on like it is. And if it does, maybe I'll jump back on the boat. But it's like, it's created such a divide. Anyway, we don't want to go too much in there. But so it's a time right now to solidify the timeline that you're on. Sometimes we jump on it, we're just there for a minute, and then we go back down. Not down, let's say back to the other timeline because of where our thoughts are. Depression, different emotions. Letting ourselves change into that new timeline requires holding a frequency for a certain amount of time. And the way you do that is you let go of other people's version of you. You let go of constant interaction with people. You let go of other people's expectations, other people's drama, constant text, constant messages, constant interaction with other people affects your frequency. It is a time to completely sit in who you 100% are, and then that will move you into the timeline of the life you want to live, okay? If you give way to temptation of doing something you don't want or that you really don't believe in, or AKA, which otherwise known as, that was funny, Crystal, then that lifetime, it's not good or bad, it's just that timeline just becomes more visible, and then you get opportunities, you get people who want to date you, you get business stuff, you get spiritual stuff, whatever it is, on that frequency. So in order to go to the next timeline, you absolutely have to have a sustained amount of time, which is the eternal now, in order to solidify yourself in that timeline. So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, holding the timeline. So I just take big walks every day. I'm dry fasting tons. I've been watching some Netflix. I was getting into a series, and then I kind of backed off of that even for a few days. But I'm still on, no carbonation, and I don't do coffee, and I do smoke. I smoke marijuana in order to calm my stomach sometimes, but I don't really have any hunger pains or any of that going on. I have a mild background headache, but the headache that I got earlier was mostly from some emotion that come up and flooded and then gets stuck in the head, right? You go, well, you're kind of top heavy and you got to let it come out. So it's also about, it's a time of cleansing the lens of perception. So everything in our reality is what it is because it's what we perceive it is, right? And it's what we perceive it is because of programs, what we were taught, what our operating system is taught from our parents, our people in this lifetime, and in our DNA as taught by other people. There's strange things going on around me, so I've lost my train of thought a little bit. So refocusing my mind. There's people doing things on both sides of me. And it's graduation tonight. They must be having some sort of a steampunk themed pirate thing, because there's a lot of different pirate hats. And anyway, yeah, they keep coming out front to, I think, to greet the new, or they're having some sort of gathering. Anyway, I'm going to start that thought all over. So our perception, everything we see it through our perception, a subjective perspective. All right, our thoughts create reality, but our thoughts, our beliefs actually create reality. And then when we go into knowing, full on knowing, by experiencing it, then we move into that different timeline. And so let's say we're looking through a window and it's all muddy, right? We can't see what's on the other side clear until we clean the window. I don't know if you watched my videos about the, when I went to the drive-in, but the guy was saying, yep, cleanest window in town, right? Because they do the projection through the drive-in theater through this window. So they clean it, really nice. So that's what I'm working on now, cleansing the lens of my perception, clearing my consciousness. Consciousness is the mansion you take with you. If you want to measure your life in success, how many degrees do you have? What did you own? What businesses did you build? How many kids did you have? No, none of that you take with you. The energy with your children, perhaps. You take your consciousness. So perfecting every thought, every emotion, going into just sitting every time an anxiety or emotion or sadness or grief or anything comes up, just sitting in it. And you can practice that too with the good things you feel really excited about. Instead of taking action on them, just sit with them. Just sit in that energy and just let it dissolve. If it's your truth, it'll come up again. And so your consciousness is the mansion that you take with you. It is the success you take with you. Being able to be alone. Being able to be strong by yourself, being able to disassociate your body, your mind, your thought from your pain, body pain, like headaches or different things, and being able to be really, really present, and in that moment. Sorry, people distract me sometimes. Let's be present. I'm being present. Oh my gosh, that was such a metaphor, right? Because I'm being present in my moment. Because there's interesting looking people around me. So that's what I'm doing now, perfecting myself. I've been doing it for the last decade. I've been doing it definitely since the Mandela effect on another level, going down every line, every road, every thought, every trigger. And I'm in the forever now. And dissolving the emotion and dissolving the emotional trigger. Like I said, I'm 28 hours into a dry fast, and I do have some, like I had some emotional stuff come up today just for a minute, and I'm like, it's totally based on your thought, but I let it come up, and then I identified what I really felt. And then Spirit's been having me do these exercises probably for the last couple weeks, of where I literally take on the opposite perception, or the perception of the other people involved in my memory, or what might come up for me, of what they really might have been thinking or feeling or going through, instead of my assumptions, and moving more and more towards removing all assumptions from your life. Because if you went day by day and you had no assumptions on anything at all, wouldn't life be so peaceful? Like, no assumptions. You wouldn't be like assuming, oh my gosh, that person don't like me. Oh my God, they don't like me. Oh my God, the cops are going to do this. Oh my God, that's going to happen. All your assumptions obviously are based on something that might have happened in the past. There is no past, there is no future. Common sense, logic, yes, but minding your own business, right? So if I start thinking about, okay, well, there's this I can do, or I can, think about, like, over the last 20 years, and where people have done you dirty, right? That have maybe harmed you financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever. I trust that I drew those things into my life. And so for me to do any sort of thing against them just invalidates my trust for myself. So it's about not necessarily acting in honor with different people over decades, but acting in honor with myself and trusting that I drew those things, those people, those events to me. I called them to me, and I came here to Mother Earth to experience those things, for Source to experience those things. And so if I spend another 20 years, well, let's say if I've spent decades upon decades upon decades simply perfecting myself, my own thoughts, to be able to sit and not have anxiety and, not have coffee, not have Coke, not have codependency, not have constant feedback, not have needing somebody flirting with me or some sort of phone sex or some sort of oh my God, do you like me? Do you like me? Do you want me? Do you need me? Do I need you? Blah, 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 right? To be completely sovereign and self-contained and trusting myself and every choice and decision I've ever made, and call to me what I want to experience next, right? That's where I'm at. And this dry fasting thing, it's like once I get into it, I really get into it. I did it mid-February. I did 50. I think I did a 60-hour. I did quite a few over the last year, but I hadn't done any for 4 months and then till this bout. And I've been doing it for 10 days on and off. And of course the tuning forks and stating my intention, and anytime anything negative comes up or any sadness or grief, just redirecting my thought. Well, in a way, but more than that, letting it come up. So it comes up and feeling in my body where that emotion or that grief or that sadness is, regret, whatever, and just looking at it and just letting it be and dissolve with no words, no story, no woe is me, just being in the energy of it. And also I've been having different kinds of conversations with myself. Sure, some interesting people here. And deepening my inner dialogue with myself. Oh, I had this really cool vision. Well, it sounds a little twisted, so I'm not going to give it in graphic detail, but I was dead on the beach. I'd bled out. I know, right? And the vision. And it creeped me out. It kind of bothered me, the vision. So I was trying to avoid it. I'm I don't want to know. I want to be positive. And Spirit's feel it. And I'm it's creepy. It's weird. That's weird. And I'm and Spirit just really encouraged me to feel it. So I felt it. And I cried and I cried and I cried at, why did you do it? Why did you go? Why did this happen? Why are you laying here? What's going? And just hugging myself and loving myself, this version of me, mourning that version of me, and just so not sad, feel sorry for yourself sad, but deeply grieving it. And I was not doing it because I was well, this is creepy and weird and I don't really want to. And Spirit kept saying to really feel it. And I really did feel it. I felt what it was like to be that version of me wanting to die and bleed out on the beach. And I felt this version of me who doesn't want to die. And it was really fucking intense. I've never felt anything quite like it. And then I kind of laid back into it after just this deep, deep mourning, right, of loss of my best friend, of my everything, which was me. And I just laid back, and then the soul of that body rose up, and then it just came into me, this version of me. And then I got it. I got how that works. So I felt intense grief. I felt like I wanted to die. I felt all of the emotions and the energies that that version of me that had bled out on the beach felt. And I didn't judge it, and I didn't label it, and I didn't breathe in and try to make it go away. I just sat with it, and it integrated. And that person, that version of me, was like a separate person inside of me, assimilating in this version of me. And I just talked to her, and I told her that I loved her, and I told her that, that you did that to experience that, so we could have that knowledge and information, and it's okay, and it's going to be okay, and don't beat yourself up, right? You're already dead, but don't beat yourself up, which just proves again that consciousness goes on. And so then I could just feel it assimilating and assimilating and assimilating into this version of me, and I felt the calm come over me, and then I fell asleep into a deep meditation. So there's that story. So anyway, yeah, I'm 28 hours in, and I feel fine, so I'm just going to have a smoke and go into meditation. I trust myself. I love myself. I am minding my own business to the best of my ability. Bringing things to me, bringing to me more money, bringing to me the kind of home that I want, and love, true love, people, someone who will be kind to me, someone who really enjoys who I am as a person, someone who is genuinely attracted to me and who is honest about it. Someone who sings to me and laughs with me and plays with me, and who's also very independent and loves to do their own thing, and is a critical thinker. And I would love that kind of companion. However, that doesn't trump my love for me. And being true to myself is the most important thing now. And yes, dating, so like, dinner, movies, walks, beach walks, laughter and play. It's interesting, all of the pirates. It's like a pirate theme. It's pretty cool, like a Victorian pirate theme. Anyway, I'm madly in love with myself, and I have an incredible relationship with myself, and I have visions, right? From last night, I was conjuring up just tons of movies of the supernatural in movies to bring that back to me. And I have this supernatural experience out over the docks every night. And I'm just really within me, and I'm not accepting invitations or energy that is not authentically 100% me. And I'm just sitting in it and letting the frequency maintain and hold in this new timeline as to draw new timeline things to me. There's so much changing every day, yet nothing, right? Like today, I just meditated all day, and I went for a walk, and today was more meditation than anything. And it's interesting, there's so many like-minded people, and they have like-minded shapes. It's just so interesting. You better hang on to your pirate hats. The wind is blowing here today like, oh my God. We're supposed to be having some like tropical winds. Anyway, there was some big to-do in the Seattle Times about the weather shift and how unusual it is here. So there's my June 11th, and the eclipse last night solidified timelines too. So remember, your thoughts, your beliefs, what you choose to focus your energy on every day is what draws to you more of that same kind. What is your true passion? What is your true things that call you? What do you really love to do? And that's where I'm at now, of just not even pushing myself in any of those, but just be content, be at peace, enjoy the incredible beauty of the mountains and the seagulls and the boats and people, and just enjoying just me. And I'll have waves of, I should have done this, I should have done that, and kicking my own ass, and then I'll have some tears push through, and then, it's always interesting to me to cry on a dry fast, right? Because I still got lots of tears, and I'm still, peeing, so I know, too much information, right? But you just, you get out all that old stuff over and over and over. So anyway, yeah, I'm around 28 hours, and I think I'm going to shoot for, I don't know, tomorrow morning. So, 36 hours, 40, I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I'll gauge it on how I feel. Duh. I can handle a mild headache, and right now I don't even have that. And sometimes if there's a little bit of stomach thing that's like pull. I know when I first started dry fasting, I had a lot of pulling in my stomach, and I used to think that was hunger pain, but that wasn't. That's parasites dying, and that's old stuff. It's not hunger pains. Anyway, but those symptoms can be relieved with smoking marijuana. Migraines can't really for me, and so that's where I draw the line. But right now, I'm not experiencing any of that. Today was pretty easy, though. Like I said, I meditated and slept, and I did some business today, but for about an hour. But then, anyway, that's all I got for now. Can you do this? I love you, whoever you are watching this, and I wish you the best of the best. I wish you happiness and peace and joy in every aspect of your life. I wish you to know your true self and to allow your true self, and to not let anyone's version of you ever be more important than the true you that you know yourself to be. Bye for now. Talk to you when we do.